What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Amy. I'm glad you spared time. In this episode, I'm going to share with you 10 lessons that I learned from when I got my band that, with regard to motherhood, they could help you here and there. As you know, by now I'm expecting that you've watched my video on the day I got banned and other stories of my life. Yeah, I got banned at some point where after baby had come. That is the day I learned so many things. And today I'm going to share with you some of those lessons that I learned. Just so maybe you pick out one, two. But just from a hick, from just to remind us, I got burnt one day when baking, and then yes, that went. I went through the process of healing, and here I am with 10 lessons from it. Always take a few things, a few lessons here and there from your life, from from occurrences of your life. So right onto it, lessons that I learned from this. Of course, I shared the experience was painful. The process of healing was painful. We had to peel so many things. And there was no anesthesia. So just to share with you, these are some of the lessons that I learned. Number one is never put out a fire with water unless advised otherwise. You remember I was saying after the fire we had just watched, so there was a lot of water in the buckets around. I rushed to get my water, and thank God my firefighter was in the house. Yes. Shout out to all the firefighters because it's not easy. It's not easy to give your life to do that. But my firefighter for this case is my husband. He was around and he's the one who stepped into the fire and tried to put it out because I was confused, shocked, and in pain myself. So my husband, who is my firefighter, ladies secret, marry someone who can put out the fire for you if you are burning. Though it's not my prayer that you burn, but at least someone who has the confidence to get into the fire. You not be running this way and he follows you. But though, you should be careful. Don't just get into the fire, super dads, that you want to prove a point. There is no point to be proven there unless you can see that it's fire which you can control, not just any fire. But yeah, at least I learned not to pour water on fire, especially if it's fire that has been caused by gas. Do you know I went for fire precautions, or is it fire safety lessons? I'll be sharing with you here. In one of these days, I'll share with you fire precautions and safety lessons. But basically, what you do when you're trying to put out fire is you try to get oxygen out of supply for it. Like you could use sand if you have access to sand, or like with the case of what we did, we used our curtains and duvets, and there was a blanket here and there. We just covered items. Watch my video on the day I got banned to get this story right. We just covered items with the duvets and the curtains. Yes, of course, that was a big loss, but comparing to life and what we were going to lose, ah, that is those are some of the things that happen in life. So number one, you want to let me say suffocate the fire, deny it any oxygen, so that it's not supplied with oxygen, then it will naturally go off for you. You can then add water. But I'm not sure. Firefighters, tell us in the comments. This is things that worked for me, things that helped me save my life. Don't pour water on direct fire. Although I don't know what the firefighters with fire trucks use. Maybe you could share with us if you know what usually is in that. Is it water or gas? What is in that thing normally? But then this takes us to right to point number two. Lesson learned from my fire. Point number two is um you could use the water on yourself. When you just get banned, first aid immediately, though I'll be sharing with this later in a series of things I want to start. Like me, I got burnt on my hand like this. If I knew before the fire that after you get burnt like this, you could pour running water on the surface which has been burnt, like water. Pour running water, cold running water. It would prevent blisters from coming up like this. These are blisters which were never taken off. This side, they were blisters which got peeled. This part, there were blisters which formed later, but basically the skin peeled. Imagine the skin peeled. My skin. And by that time, I had started a beauty, hair, skin, less nini therapy sessions for myself. I was glowing like I am glowing now, but more. Imagine from that day up to today, I have never done any skincare routine. Imagine. Lakini sometimes, sometimes things can happen in your life and you wonder, had someone been jealous about my skin now that we are from Africa? Though I don't believe in those things, but I'm just thinking about it right now. From that day up to now, I've not participated, done any skincare activity for myself. But before that, I was very concerned with scrubbing and stuff. And then I got burnt. So the skin peeled, this side, the skin peeled, and then it formed big things plus blisters. So when I went to hospital, I was unable to allow the medics to just peel them. Yeah, they peeled them. Those who have gone through the processes of healing after a burn, share with us in the comment section. They're supposed to peel. This side, you see, you can almost not notice. Imagine that I got burned. But this side, I allowed it to be peeled. This side, it was too painful. So I later on I learned that you could just dip your hand or your part that has been burnt in running water, and it will prevent severity of it, something like that. Though after you leave the water, irritation galore. And also something else which I know happens in the village. I know when you get burnt, you can be shocked and you're feeling like you want to pee. Hmm? You want to pee. Instead of peeing and letting that pee go, pee on that surface that has been burned. Anyway, these are not laughing matters, by the way. You can pee on the surface which has been burnt. Or, yeah, pee is good medicine. Don't let pee go to waste just in case there is pee around. You could pee on your leg, then shower later. Now, these ones are traditional African methods of getting well. Yeah, I just learned about those ones now later. Another lesson that I learned now, lesson is after that time, you remember I told you what saved me? I was in cotton. From that day, every time I'm going to the kitchen to cook, I usually put on cotton. Even hey, because cotton saved my life. I was burning literally. My clothes were on fire and I didn't know. I was feeling the heat and I didn't know. I think the shock of the fire that lit up in that house. I'm telling you, it was all light. Watch my video to get the details. So the thing that saved me, my clothes were on fire and I didn't burn. Imagine the rest of my body didn't burn except for this place. And watch that story to know how this place got burned. Cotton was burning, but my body didn't get burned. Imagine if it was nylon, it would have touched everywhere. Then to remove the nylon from my body, we would not be talking about this story. It's a very important lesson that is working for me so far. You could try it, Mama, as you go to the kitchen. Ensure you are not putting on flammable material. Okay? Don't put on flammable material when going to the kitchen. You cannot plan for an accident. If you're cooking with, say, this 6 kg gas cylinders, you could be standing to cut onions and behind here your skirt is catching fire. You cannot plan for accidents. Yeah, my own case, I didn't plan for that type of accident. So just ensure you have precaution around. Okay, this takes me to point number 3, or is it 4 now? um Have safety precautions around if you can afford. If you can afford, have safety precautions around. Do you know there's never time we don't have a blanket folded just in case, ready close to the kitchen, just in case from that incident, just in case there is a fire to put out, because fire could come from anywhere. And then you, if you can afford a fire extinguisher, something which I'm working on, I want to know how to use a fire extinguisher. If you know, please tell us in the comment section. You could have such things in your house. There are some houses which have automatic blah 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 for fire. If you can afford such things, please have them. But my own fire precautions, I've told you, we always have a blanket. We bought it at $4. Eh? $4 kwa mtush. A good blanket, a big one. No, sorry, a big one. Now don't start attacking me. People need blankets. That is work in progress. I'm just talking about my house, what we do for fire precautions. Okay, have fire precautions always. Yes, another point number 5, which I learned from this whole incident, is never to allow baby in the kitchen without supervision. Whether we are cooking or not, babies are not in my house. Babies are not allowed in the kitchen for any reason without an adult there. And the adult has to be alert. And the adults in this case are me, my husband, and myself. Or any adult who comes, they know. One thing which we always do whenever we go for house hunting yeah, is we ask for 2 keys. One of those keys is the kitchen key. Kitchen door, sorry, is the kitchen door that connects the rest of the house lockable. We have to lock it because we don't want accidents. The pain I went through, the healing process, I cannot imagine that kind of pain with a baby. Hey, hey, that kind of pain we cannot imagine. So, to prevent potential pain relief and healing processes, babies in the kitchen not allowed, especially when we are cooking. And you could also try that with your kids. Just avoid, because you don't want to know. Some kids have had very bad experiences by just playing around. Imagine you cooking and then the baby comes and plays around with the gas cylinder. This, if you are cooking from a cooker which has connection, what do we call, gas pipe, this pipe, and then baby comes to play with the pipe and pulls it out. The way in Africa, we don't have safety for that. We just cooker here, cylinder here, pipe connecting the two. It shouldn't be like that. Cylinder and pipe should be out of the house. But anyway, who cares in our lives nowadays? So, babies, especially when we are cooking, no. We can have babies when we are washing utensils. But babies in the kitchen when we are cooking, never. Yes, so that brings me to point number 6. This point is for those who have had burns, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's not something funny. I'm talking about burns, second and third degree, and even first burn. It's a burn. First degree burn, it's a burn. We cannot ignore the pain involved. But to second and third degree burns, where maybe two bones, major bones in the body are involved, like myself, this bone, I've forgotten the way we used to sing in high school. This bones, body bones. If you went to the school which was singing that, share with me in the comment section. Those of us who would sing this bones are body bones. So we knew which one was this. Was this femur? No, 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 no. Humerus. Tibula, I remember it's in the legs. These ones are forgotten, but I remember these ones were called phalanges. Tell us, why were we learning those things? Why were we learning those things? Anyhow, these bonds, my band involved these two bonds. Yes, I found a reason as to why we were learning those things, so that I will not look stupid when my child comes with such a song. At least I will be flowing with him. But those who pursued careers in human anatomy, I'm sure those songs are very helpful. So my band involved two bones, this one and this one. and they needed to have a lot of muscle exercise. And just in case you're there, you're going through such a thing, a burn, you're in hospital watching me, first, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry for what happened to you. But just to encourage you, it is doable. Do some muscle exercises. Stretch your legs, stretch your hands, stretch your fingers, things like that. Okay? You will get over it. It is painful, but you will get over it. You can do it. Okay? You can do it. So don't relax, because if you relax, the muscles will heal with that stiffiness. You don't want that. You don't want to get that for the rest of your life unless you want it. But try to exercise it. Try to stretch your legs. Try to do normal activities. The ones you're doing, it will be difficult. It will be painful. I'm telling you, I cried. I cried. I used to cry. Oh, I used to cry. I used to cry. And Maki, I had a baby 3 months old to take care of at this time. Well, Hasbe was very supportive, but when Hasbe was not there, oh, I used to cry. Crying is there. You cry, you wipe your tears, you look forward, and you continue. It is doable, all right? So this brings me to point. Is it now 8? I've lost count. Is it 2.7 or 8? Which is that experience made me realize that I'm strong. You are stronger than you know. Hey, whenever I hear people talk about issues, things they have gone through in life, all I can say is there is some energy in you which you didn't know existed. From that day, I used to cry about almost everything. After that day, we shed tears only when we are nursing. I've said in my previous video, you must have heard. Sometimes you just cry when you're lactating. Sometimes you just cry when you're lactating or you're expectant. You just cry and you do not understand the reason. And you are sure there is something causing you to cry. For sure, for sure. Except for that reason, nowadays I don't cry. I don't cry, let me say like that. I didn't think my skin would cover like this back to normal. Like I told you, it had peeled off and peeled off. This part was white, this part was red. Oh my God. I did not, it took 4 weeks, 5 weeks. I don't know if it healed in the sixth week. It's not covering up. This side has covered so well. This side, of course, I've told you I was so afraid of the pain. And I'm wondering, will it ever get back together, or I might need to go back to hospital for skin grafting? I am thinking, oh Lord, this is how you get grafted. Those who have gone through skin grafting, just just get your healing from God. But when my skin finally closed and I was able to take a shower by myself, all this while I was not able to shower because I was not able to shower. I was sponge bathing. Those of you who are looking at me like, so Papa Miami was sponge bathing. Don't look at me like that. I was sponge bathing. I was I never saw my skin getting back together. But through it all, through this pain, I was encouraging myself. I did well with my child. Energy which I didn't know existed in me. I think from that day, very few things shook me, especially with regard to thinking that there's a situation that is permanent. No situation is permanent, dear mama. You can overcome anything. If you made a human, or you are raising a human being who is not even yours, for example, or is yours, there is nothing you cannot overcome. There is nothing you cannot overcome, Super Mama. You can overcome anything. And Super Dads as well. There is no challenge too heavy. You can overcome anything. That experience made me realize some energy which was inside me, which I didn't know existed. It's from that time that I became, let me say, 40% of who I am today, or 70% of who I am today. Started then when I got banned. I was alone in this big city. Anyway, I realized that I had energies in me which I didn't know existed before. So, dear parent, you're stronger than you know. Ah, keep hope alive. Another point which I learned from this whole experience is always be kind to people. If you are a young person, respect the elderly, regardless of this whatever situation. If you are living already in this life, be kind to people. You never know when kindness pays. The people who came to help me, to help us with advice and first aid, up to that time we were clueless. First aid, which was very helpful in pain relief and just to ensure it wasn't bad, and just to organize the house thereafter because the house was disorganized. Their roof had burned, ceiling board was burned. Imagine. Oh, the people who came to help us were our neighbors and my landlady then. Our landlady then. She was so kind. Imagine her house was burned, but she never asked us to pay even a kobo. Let me say, no kobo. We were not asked to pay anything. In fact, she's the one who kept on telling us that I know after a burn, such kind of fire, you could be traumatized. And traumatized I was. I was afraid of getting into that kitchen, even cooking. For a week, I could not go past that door. Everything I saw as I was going in towards that side was the light I saw when the fire pop and the sound I had. I was traumatized for some time. So if you are wondering what's happening to you, it's called trauma. You could seek help depending on the degree. Well, I overcame mine slowly. She's the one who kept on telling us, if you still traumatized, you're not able to cook in your kitchen, just give me a call, I'll bring food. Imagine she would bring food, she would call us for supper at her place because Super Mama Amy was traumatized, not strong enough to go cook. Yeah, so kindness to people always pays. My neighbor came with very good first aid. Policemen who came watch my video to understand how policemen came watch my video on the day I got banned. Yeah, policemen who came were so kind to us. Hey, they offered help. Well, and policemen are wise. They have very good skills. Befriend some of them, you will get immense help. Immense help. So um imagine to the extent that when it came to the time when we were just about to move out, well, well, the house was burnt, the kitchen for a week. I couldn't get in, the roof, the ceiling. The lady was telling us we don't need to pay her, but we were feeling like we can add some cents here and there whenever she's repairing the house. She even advised us. She even told us, I know right now you might be thinking about moving. Don't feel anything come sa about it because we were so attached. She was our mother. That's the house my She was our mother. That's the house my husband was living in before he found me. Eh? So even during our wedding, this lady is the one who hosted my husband's guests, things like that. So she was our mother in town, and time for moving out came, and she was like, "Don't feel anything about it. I will even help you talk to the landlord." And thank goodness, our current landlord and the landlord before, they had known each other. They were friends, they're still friends. So when we found this one and we were telling her, describing to her the house we want to move into, she helped us. So we are even friends with the landlord today. How many people are friends with their landlords? How many of you are friends with your landlords? Tell me in the comment section, by the way. You could share with me your experiences with your landlord. But basically, what that also told me is kindness to people always pays. There's no harm, just respect your elders if you are young. Treat everybody. Back to sender. How can I be shrubbing in Christmas? No, 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 no. Treat everybody respectfully. You never know. You never know. You never know. Lesson learned, okay? Lesson number 9. I learned somehow that children always just grow. They kind of have some divine connection to you as their mother or you as their parent, and to their maker. This particular night when I got burned and I was in shock and these things were happening to me, I didn't sleep, not even doze off. No, I sat on the chair the whole night. I don't know. Sleep was not just there. I was not hungry. I think shock. I think it was shock. My son was 3 months old. Up to that time, by now, baby is still breastfeeding at night and things like that. This particular night, baby didn't wake up 1 minute. He did not. He slept soundly. He didn't wake up to breastfeed, which was interesting because I was just wondering, how will I breastfeed out? Watch my video to know why I couldn't breastfeed. Yeah. So I just learned that baby will just grow. And that period of healing was painful, and baby would know. Sometimes when I cry and I'm just dressed, I've dressed the wounds myself in the house and I've cried, my son would look at me and it's like he understands. He understands mama is in pain. So this process of healing, baby did not disturb. He was not crying all the time. Things like that. And also, just to encourage you, mama, if you're there wondering how baby will be, if you're in a very difficult situation or baby has come, you have no form, shape, or plan, don't stress. When they say, mtoto hukuja na sahani yake, I am evidence. Mtoto hukuja na sahani yake iko na akili zake. Children they have a way of connecting to you. That's why they even say when you're expectant, don't stress, don't have emotions everywhere because it can get transferred to your baby. I think that is true. Children have a way of just connecting with you as their parent. This I would also like to use this to encourage parents who get stressed up when they're leaving. Oh, my child will bond with somebody else, my child will bond. The fact that you are their parent, don't stress. The baby will bond with you because that connection is godly. This is when you tell me in the comment section, amen, sister. Amen. Because that connection is just godly. Okay? Yeah. And of course, the very final lesson is my hairstyle started its journey there. I used to keep hair. Tell me, by the way, I used to keep hair. Those who know me with hair versus with short hair and long hair, tell me what you think about my hairstyle. But you remember I shared in my story that watch my video to know. At some point my hair caught some fire. Yeah, it is not what it looks like today. At some point my hair caught some fire. Ooh. That makes me very emotional. Ooh. Yeah, my hair did some cha under fire. Watch my story, oh. Watch my story. So subscribe, like, share. Give me your comments. And after that, I didn't have a clear path of what to do with the hair. Obviously, it had to be cut. And then I kept ragged hair for some time. But my journey towards short hair started then. I never kept long hair. I never braided my hair after that. So I've been keeping short hair. And then when I became expectant, somehow when I became expectant, hair goals disappear from me. Hair becomes such a nuisance. So finally, when I was expectant, I cut my hair, and my hair was in my journey. I think towards short hair started that time, and I don't regret. But you can share with me. Maybe I will do long hair one of these days, and then you will tell me which one you like. So that's it. My 10 lessons that I learned from my band experience. I hope you have gotten something. Tell me in the comment section. What have you learned? Okay. That's it for this episode. Thank you. Let's meet in the next one. Like, share, subscribe, and give me your comments. Bye.